ADHD paralysis, aka your personal procrastination manifesto. What is it and what can you do about it? ADHD paralysis, according to a bunch of blogs on the internet, is basically task overwhelm in that there's so much to do that you don't know what to do, and it's a deer in the headlights feeling. It's divided into 3 categories of mental paralysis, where there's too much going on and there's too much to do, which causes too much sensory overload and it just causes you to freeze. Task paralysis, in that the to-do list is just so long and there's so much to do that you just don't even start. Where to even begin? It's like a future me problem. Present me will live in the moment and enjoy life. Choice paralysis, in that there's too many choices that's hard to choose one. The classic Netflix dilemma, what to watch. It's a domino effect, which too much stimulus causes too little action, causes ADHD paralysis. A good way to describe it is that it's not really a thing, except totally a thing, in that it is just built up in your head, except it is built up there. Too much to do and too little of you. So you'd either want to do 2 things. So you'd want to decrease the stimulus, or you want to increase your ability to handle the stimulus. How can you get unstuck? Well, you could just start. Trying to be perfect will never be anything, because perfection is so subjective, in that perfection to somebody is imperfection to somebody else. And you can just accept the fact that you're going to be perfectly imperfect when you do this. Look at the Mona Lisa. It is perfection to art fanatics, except to other people, it's just a slightly ugly girl that was painted in the 1500s. The 5-second rule, popularized by Mel Robbins, in that her entire career was based on this idea that you literally count down in your head from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you do the action, because it's supposed to get you out of your thoughts and into doing a procedural task, which will allow you to do the actual task. And it's a simple thing that's free, that is actually somewhat effective. Surprisingly, I didn't make it. I'm not paid to say this, except it actually works. Do a brain dump. I'm not talking about with ending it with your friend upstairs, except write down all your thoughts on a piece of paper, just unfiltered. Write down this, write down that, allowing you to get all these thoughts out of your head and on a page of paper, so that you can just have a clearer mind, which could allow you to proceed and move forward. You're never gonna outthink your way out of thinking. It's good to go outside to come back inside. You get high to go down deep, if you know what I mean. Catch my drift. Which is why writing down a stream of consciousness, just puking all your thoughts on a piece of paper, is such a valuable practice. ADHD is a dysfunction of the executive function, so it makes sense if we increase executive functioning, we decrease ADHD, and that is what we'll do with some of the supplements here. So firstly, it is Sabroxy, which is an extract from the Indian trumpet tree, which primarily acts as a dopamine reuptake inhibitor. So it inhibits the reuptake of dopamine in the synaptic cleft, allowing it to stay longer and influence its psychological effects, improving mood, motivation, and memory. It is very similar to Ritalin, except in a weaker and more sustainable way, in that they have very similar function. It also has some downstream positive benefits to neuroplasticity and cognitive flexibility. Caffeine and L-theanine, the dynamic duo, the peanut butter to the jelly. Caffeine is an adenosine antagonist, which increases dopamine because it blocks these receptors, allowing dopamine to increase in this way, giving us the feeling of wakefulness and energy. L-theanine comes down and kind of smooths things out. It calms the chaos from coffee and allows more of a smoother effect profile. It increases GABA, affects the monoamine transmission. It blocks the NMDA receptor. Pregnenolone, it is a steroidal precursor to all your favorite hormones like estrogen, cortisol, and testosterone, and it increases sigma-1 activation, increasing dopamine downstream, as well as increasing cortisol and testosterone. Is very good for getting you into a state of action. Exercises: go for a walk, breathe the fresh air, clear your head, look into the sun, except not too long, because we like our irises here. Motion creates emotion. Going for a walk allows you to clear your head, and even so, they call the sedentary lifestyle the new smoking, because it's so detrimental to your health. Go outside, you insider. Nature therapy is so useful, and even forest bathing, which is exactly as it sounds, is a standard practice originating from Japan, in that you bathe in the forest, and it's so good for increasing feelings of nature connectedness, which is how connected you feel to the natural world, which improves almost every facet of mental health. And it is so massively benefiting for every psychiatric disorder, because I think we often forget we came from the natural world, except we live in this concrete jungle. So it's always good to go back. At the end of the day, you could just give up, realize you suck, realize you're not good enough, that you never will be good enough, that you can do all this stuff, except it'll never be enough. Does that motivate you? Does that keep you amped up to prove me wrong, to go do what you need to do? Well, there you go. There's your final strategy. Check out this video where I talk about the best natural supplements for ADHD that I found after trying over 100 plus supplements, nootropics, medication, research, chemicals, everything underneath the sun, and then some. So that video should be up on the screen right now.